Hi everyone, it's me, Jeff Gotte, and today I'm going to demonstrate several powerful exercises that are going to help you improve the strength in your legs and quadriceps. If you struggle with tightness or pain in your thighs, or experience lack of mobility due to weakness in your legs, then join me for this very effective steady pace exercise class. The only equipment that you're going to need is a chair, a resistance band if you have one, the progress journal that you can download in the description box below, and your best effort. Don't forget, subscribe to our channel and give us a like after the video if you enjoyed it. And please leave a comment below letting us know where you're watching from and what symptoms that you're struggling with so that we can cater to you in future videos. With all that being said, let's strengthen those legs. All right, let's jump into this leg strengthening exercise class today. We're gonna start with a dynamic leg extension. We're gonna execute this unilaterally, so one leg at a time. I have a silver resistance band because I want to challenge my muscle, and I know the silver band will do it, right? Because the goal of exercise is to progressively challenge the body with continuous and uninterrupted loading of the targeted tissue, which is the thigh here, okay? This is gonna help reduce tightness in the thigh, increase mobility. I've anchored the band above my foot, so that I'm loading the tib fib, and I'm anchoring on the opposite foot, right, and pulling this foot back. So a dynamic set is going to be the raising and lowering. Now you don't have to have a band here, okay? Especially if you're new to exercising. We want to allow your body to prove to you what you can do first. Record it in your progress journal, notice I have mine here, and then go on. Increase the difficulty next time. All right, let's do this. You're gonna follow me to the starting position. Make sure you're scooted back in the chair as much as the femur as possible is on the chair to take the hip flexor out. Starting position is a full extension of the knee as high as you can get. Stabilize, hold, initiate movement. Clock is on for 7. We're lowering for 5, isolating the quadricep for 2. Pause at bottom 1. Now make sure the resistance stays on that quadricep at that bottom turnaround for 4. 3, lifting 2, squeeze quad, 1, back down slow. We're seeking muscle failure, simply the point you can no longer continue to go through that original range of motion, keeping that quadricep engaged the entire time. That's going to indicate you've clearly communicated this muscle is going to lead to the results in the recovery process. For 2, squeeze pause, 1, heading back down. Next effort's taking us past 45 seconds. This is great for stability of the knees, strength of the lower body, your mobility. It's gonna reduce tightness and spasticity in this quadricep as well as you add a pliable nature to the tissue, driving blood flow to the area. Also kicking up that heart rate the better you engage. Squeeze it top 1, back down. Next effort's taking us past 60 seconds into the exhaust range for 2. Pause 1, that's the final 30 seconds where you should reach muscle failure if it's an appropriate difficulty to give the very best results. For 2, squeeze pause 1, we are there in the exhaust range. So no more than 30 seconds to reach momentary muscle failure, which is simply the point you can't continue with proper form through that original range. You want continuous and uninterrupted loading of this quadricep to really get a good inroad on all of the systems, cardiovascular, metabolic. Let's go one more effort here. Remind yourself all for a purpose. For 2 seconds, 1, transition, one more effort. Final opportunity to take what you can. Breathe in freely. I'm not gonna force it for 2 seconds. I did it for 1 second and disengaging. Success, I reached muscle failure. So I'm coming over my trusty progress journal. I'm gonna write down, okay? I'm gonna write down 126 and I'm gonna write okay, because I don't need to increase difficulty, silver band. So on the last effort, final effort, I reached momentary muscle failure. Now, I want you to go ahead and pause video now, rewind, whatever you need to do. Execute this on the opposite leg as well, okay? For time's sake here, I'm going to go right into our next exercise in the exercise session, but you wanna exercise and execute this on the right side as well, okay? Now, we're gonna jump into, in the exercise class, the next exercise. So we go lower body, then upper body, then we're gonna go back to the lower body in this because we do wanna gain, increased strength in the entire body. Plus this allows the cardiovascular system to get much more work from a peripheral nature, right? So shuttling blood up, shuttling blood down, different areas of the body. Okay, we're gonna execute a armchair push-up. Now notice I just naturally put band over my shoulders into my hands. You can execute this, and I do suggest you execute this with just your body weight if you've not done this before. Allow yourself to prove to you that you can complete the entirety of the 130 before then increasing the difficulty. All right, here we go. We're gonna go scoot forward, hips forward, elbows, shoulders, wrists aligned. You're pushing through heel of the hand, back is flat, clock is on. I'm walking feet forward to really ensure that my rear end and my hips are not resting on that chair. I've got a slight bend in the elbows. Now it may look like my hips are resting on the chair, but they're not right now, okay? I've got my pelvis kind of tucked. I'm walked forward. If you need to come all the way forward so that your hips are off the chair, okay? That's perfectly great, grand, wonderful. Just make sure that you are close enough to the chair to where when you do successfully reach muscle failure, you can get back on that chair, okay? Because remember, that's the goal, to reach muscle failure. We're targeting triceps, which is the back of the arms, the deltoids, which is the shoulders, and the pectoralis major minor. This is a great exercise for upper body strength, transitioning in and out of a chair, a car, functional ability of the upper body, also abdominals, and heart rate's gonna roll as well. Now, muscle failure is the goal. That's simply the point. You can no longer continue with continuous uninterrupted loading of this muscle, right? That's success. If you're being challenged right now, that's a good thing. And then when you have to relax the muscle or disengage or you break form, that's when you're gonna notate what the time is above you. Continue with your best effort, write that down in your progress journal at the end of the exercise. All right, we're there. We're in what we call the exhaust range. Notice we're not moving through this exercise. It's called what we call a metabolic, isometric in nature, right? No lengthening or shortening the muscles, but we're still exercising at a very high level of intensity, which is gonna prompt the best results. No more than 5, 4, I'm still engaged, 3, 2, shake is natural, and 1. Whew. Completed. Okay, so I was very close to reaching muscle failure there, but I actually did complete it, right? So I'm going to increase the difficulty next time. So I'm gonna put 130, put plus mark. I need to increase the difficulty next time. And that could mean, making the band tighter, so one less loop. It could mean adding a band. It could mean bending my elbows a little bit more. There are multiple ways you can add progression in the exercise. All right, let's wrap things out. We're gonna keep it rolling. We're gonna go an isometric or metabolic leg extension. So a little bit more volume. Since this is a leg exercise session, we're gonna get a little bit more volume on this quadricep. Now notice, I slid the trunk into the mix here, okay? So this trunk is going to be substituted by you with an ottoman, a little short table, a chair, cushions, whatever, right? You have that'll allow you to support that tib fib lower leg, okay? I'm not going to use a band for this one. You could anchor it there, anchor it off just like you did in the dynamic set. What I want us to do here today is I want you to execute this isometric set with this cushion, because at the end of the day, if you're not quite strong enough yet to lift the leg all the way up into the air and engage that quadricep completely, this is going to allow you a little assistance in actively engaging that quadricep. So once we begin here in a second, what your goal is gonna be to do is to squeeze thigh, try to lock knee, and attempt to lift leg off of the ottoman, the box, the chest, whatever's underneath the leg right now, okay? You may not lift it up off of this, and if you don't, that's perfectly fine. Once the set begins, you're going to give your best effort, engage the muscle to lift it off, and as soon as you can no longer stay engaged, attempting to lift it off and need to relax, notate that time. Then you're gonna jump back in for the remainder. Ready to rock it? Let's wrap up this exercise set and gain the strength that I know you want. Clock is on. All right, now I'm squeezing quad, I'm lifting, right? Breathing through it. Again, we're isolating this quadricep. It's continuous and uninterrupted loading of this thigh. Now, we're executing the isometric or metabolic, so just locked in place. We're a little pre-exhausted from that first dynamic set because we are trying to get a little bit more volume with the specificity into the lower body here today so that we can truly prompt that strength improvement in the lower body. This is a leg strengthening exercise session today, right? So if you're being challenged right now, don't beat yourself up. Understand that that's the goal, right? That's what's gonna lead to the best results in the recovery process. Now, success is muscle failure, the point where you can't continue. So if it's already happened, you had to relax the muscle, right? Or you lost your form and you were shaking, right? And you had to disengage, you should notate or have notated the time and then just jump back in and keep giving your best effort, okay? We're getting ready to head into the final 30 seconds. Remind yourself, this is uncomfortable. Exercise being challenging and uncomfortable. You have to remind yourself why you're doing this. Increased mobility, injury resistance, right? Doing the things that you love to do, strengthening the quadricep around the knee so that you have less spasticity into that thigh, right? All you're doing is giving your best effort. That's the only expectation. Look at the shake. Shake is natural. Less than 10, 9, breathing 8, engaging 7, 6, best effort. Last 5 seconds no matter what. Breathing freely. Back is flat and completed, relaxing completely. So I was close to reaching muscle failure, but I did complete the set. Meaning next time I need to increase the difficulty, whether that's through a sandbag down here, an exercise band, some type of weight I'm laying over. The most important thing is to understand the importance of adding progression to the mix, because this is exercise, not just movement, right? Make sure you're executing this on the opposite leg as well, this right side, okay? Pause the video, rewind if you need to. So this lower body strengthening exercise session should consist of a dynamic left leg, dynamic right leg, armchair push-up, then metabolic left leg, metabolic right leg. And if you execute this exercise session consistently, 2 to 3 times per week, you will see results. It's science. You jump off a building, gravity's gonna take you down. If you progressively overload with continuous and uninterrupted exercise loading to the tissue, you recover completely and then you reapply, you're gonna get results. So leave a comment in the comment box below. Let us know how it went for you. And then check back in 2 to 3 weeks with us after you've been doing this and share with us what your outcome is, okay? I'm curious to see. Let us know where you're from. Also, let us know, as I mentioned earlier, what symptoms you're struggling with so we can continue to tailor these videos around what gives you the very best value and results, because that's why we exist. Hit the like button, heart us, subscribe, share with your friends, and until next time, simply give your best effort, be measured, and then focus on that recovery process. I'll see y'all next week. If you want to get into a more structured and regimented program that can help you gain more control of your symptoms, then you should join our Take the Fight to the Muscles workout club. Now, by joining, you will receive access to an exclusive seated full body fundamentals workout class that updates every 2 weeks, stretch classes to help you alleviate tightness and spasticity, access to our 2 most popular Focus On series for foot drop and hip flexors, plus bonus Q&As with myself each month where I can answer your questions about exercise in MS. Click the join button below this video to learn more information about the Take the Fight to the Muscles workout club and to see which plan works best for you. I'll see you all next week.